Hey everybody, it's Bryant Whelan. I'm going to attempt to shoot a video. This is not going to be live because I have no idea what I'm doing. But to do some Botanic eco-printing. An artist today was talking about being frustrated and feeling like what their work didn't have value. So I'm going to show you that I'm willing to fail, to experiment. Toot Riddick, who's a very good friend of mine and a mentor, at one time said, if you're always experimenting, there are no failures. So I'm going to kind of jump out of my comfort zone and share some of my processes that sometimes completely fail. And it takes a really long time to get these things going. So what I'm going to do is just share bits and pieces, and you'll kind of get an idea of what's going to happen, and then we'll hope it won't fail. But anyway, so I'm going to turn this around and show you what I've got going on right now. Okay, in a minute. Okay, I'm on my patio and I've gotten some pieces of cloth that I already had. This is from an old linen shirt that I bought at Goodwill a while back. This is a cut-up t-shirt of Patrick's. That's more the linen shirt. And these, I think, maybe a while back got mordanted with ash water. So I'll show you what ash water is for me. Unfortunately, the yard man came today and he put leaves all in it. But this is ashes from the fireplace, which I will mix with water, and we'll use that as a tannin to mordant the cloth. And then also you can use soy milk, and then also after that you mordant it. It's a lot of stuff. I'll answer questions, but I'm telling you I'm not really good at this. So anyway, you use the mordants for the cloth, and I'm hoping that these have already been mordanted, and that basically means it will support having a chemical reaction with your botanicals. So here I have some flowers. It was my birthday recently, and I received beautiful flowers from my children and my daughter's mother-in-law, which was really sweet. So I'm going to play with these and see if they'll print. And I'm going to stop this video to show you some more. Okay, next I have leaves that I went and got off of a tree in Pinky Bass's yard, and they've been sitting here for a few days while I try to figure out what to do. And Sweet Pinky also gave me these wonderful leaves, which are so beautiful that I hesitate to try to print with them. I may have to do something else with those. She also gave me some avocado pits, and I'm going to have to ask Pinky what exactly I do with those in this process, because frankly I don't know, and I know they probably make a good dye. And she gave me some onion skins, which I'm just delighted to have because those print as well. Other things I have, I've got some steel wool, which I will put around in my bundles that I'm going to do. That will, and I'm going to soak this in a little rust water, a little iron water. And I have some copper, and then I also have twine to wrap the bundles. The other little things that I brought out here are, this is a blue dye left over from a workshop months ago, which I think they said it would last 2 weeks, but I just couldn't let go of it. And then also I was given some Osage orange shavings for dye, which I have not used as well. So I'm going to kind of keep these here, and who knows what I'll do with that. Okay, this right here is my fire pit, which is supposed to be rusty to make it beautiful. But what I do is I go through, and yes, Doug Ballos, I do wear gloves now, but I go and I scrape this with some steel wool, and I make a rust powder, which then is used to make some iron water to dip the leaves and that kind of thing. Hi there. Okay, so this right here is a mixture of the rust that I got from the fire pit and vinegar. something I've never done before, mixed it with vinegar, but I read somewhere that could do something. So since I'm experimenting, we'll see what happens. So I've put some water in here, and I have no idea how much. I'm not measuring, nothing. I'm just going to put that in the water, move it around, and make some nice rusty water. And then I'm going to start adding leaves. And I'm even going to throw the flowers in here. What the heck, you know? We're experimenting. So all these leaves, all of this looks pretty good. I'll put a little more water in here, cover these up. Sorry. And my understanding is that the iron in this water will help the leaves and botanicals release any colors that they might have when we do a tight binder. So here we go. There those are. They don't have to, I don't think they have to stay in here very long. But now over here, I'm going to, just for fun, this is just over-the-counter alum, which I think is used for like pickling or something. Oops. That's probably too big. I'm gonna let some of that out. Coming back. Okay, I'm just gonna pour some of this alum in here and swirl it around, because since I don't even remember if any of these pieces of cloth have been mordanted, which means maybe nothing will happen to them, I figure I'll put some alum on this piece of cotton. I'm not even sure that alum is used with cotton. My brain is not working. You use different types of mordants for, you know, I know you would use it with silk. I'm not sure about cotton, but I just don't think it'll hurt. So I'm going to let that sit for a while. I'm going to leave the leaves over here. And then also, just to give you an idea, I've got my pot. You know, it takes a long time to get something boiling. I think I'm going to steam rather than boil. Use my little steamer. So anyway, by the time I get all this stuff done, maybe my water will be boiling, and we'll see what happens. Okay, I also just stumbled upon some leaves that I had found in my sister, Mary Beth Cannon's yard one time in the pouring rain after a storm. She had lots of leaves in her driveway, and you guys, I'd love to say I know what all these are, but I don't. But I'm going to throw these into the mix as well. Okay, here we are getting these the pieces of fabric ready. I've put leaves on them that have been dipped in iron. And now I'm going to do a little experimenting. I've got a little bit of, some steel wool, onions. I've dropped little pieces of copper. I'm going to try something. Let's try it on this one. I put some of the iron water into my spray bottle. And even though I'm going to put what's called a blanket and that's dipped in iron on top of this, I'm just gonna kind of, go under here, some iron water under there, just something you can see. Look, something's already happening. So we'll put a little iron under there, a little iron under here. It's hard for me to do this with, I'm gonna just spray the back of those, put that in there. And we'll see if this does anything. Then another thing I'm going to do, this could be really weird or not. So this old blue dye. I'm just going to stick my hands in it. I'm hoping that I don't spill it all over my patio. Put some blue dye in here. I'm just going to see what happens with the blue dye. Okay. All right, and then, hold on, I'm going to stop. Okay, so here's some Osage orange just scattered on top. I know that paper towels are at a premium right now, but this is my favorite paper towel, dipped in the iron water. Oddly enough, it doesn't look very iron colored. I think all those flowers probably put something in there, but I'm going to use this to cover up all of these before I roll the bundles, and I'll show you what it's like after I do that. Okay, so now I have covered all of the botanicals with towel is wrapped and then dipped in iron water. And then I'm going to use these types of dowels or poles, these rusty poles, and wrap them up and wrap them with twine so that they make a really good, so that the leaves make a really good contact with the fabric. And when you're wrapping it, you want to keep it really, really tight. Here's one wrapped bundle, which I have wrapped as tightly as I could. Now you can hear that the water is boiling. I think what I might do is boil one and steam the other. So at least we're experimenting and seeing what's going to work the best. So, open this up. Whoops. And there's the water. It's not very high. I'm going to put that one in. And then cover that up. It's actually not even boiling yet. It's been a while. So anyway, I'm sticking it in there anyway. So here's the bundle. You can see the little bits of blue dye coming through. And this next one that I'm going to do is, I'm going to do it with a rusty old piece of rebar. Last one I used an old piece of twist tie, really long one, to wrap it up with. And this is literally something I found in the storage area of our garage that was left here by the previous owners. And but it works great for tying these up. So, you know, use whatever is available. All right, I think I've decided to go on and put this big, long one in the water instead of on the steamer as well. This is an old, I bought this on eBay. It's an old fish steaming kettle. And the reason why I like it is I can make longer pieces. So the problem is finding something long enough to wrap it around, but you know, supposedly you can even use a wooden dowel. But anyway, so it's still not, it's on high and it's still not boiling. Okay, just for fun, instead of using my pre-mixed iron and vinegar mix, I'm literally going to just rub this paper towel all over the inside of this and get iron on it. And I'm going to use that for my blanket. What that looked like. And now I'm just going to dunk it in this mixture down here, which is what I had all the leaves. Here's my rusty iron blanket. And then I'm going to do something different. I've got this little piece. They're not even going to match up. This little piece here. This little piece of hose pipe. And this kind of funky rebar. I'm going to use these, uneven as they are, to wrap it up. We'll see how it goes. I also wanted to show y'all that if I go into my cooker, and this is too long, because I've got different pieces, I may be able to like squish it, and then make it fit. We'll see. So I've just used tongs to turn those over a little bit. As you can see, it's still not boiling, but they are cooking. And now I'm going to get this one, which I actually don't have to bend, oddly enough, too much. I'll put it in here. That's not going to work with these. Okay, I'm not using the steamer, but I've got this one in on top of the other one, so it'll steam more than soak. And I've turned these so little by little they'll cook. We'll watch it for the next few hours and see what happens. You have to be careful not to let the water boil off. We know that can be disastrous. So I'll be back to check on it in a couple of hours, but meantime I'll be turning them, checking them out.